And
media outlet.
yeah, yeah,
They actually really dug into Killnet. They've
yeah.
done many pieces on the group. If you really kind of sit on that media website
Hmm.
and go through it, they really get into the funding and who's giving money and who's making money
Yeah.
for the Killnet organization, which is I'm gonna let Pascal go with this because it's so exciting. It's really interesting to see how the threat landscape goes.
Yeah.
Like later on today, we'll be releasing a blog talking about Killnet Social Circle. But like when you actually dig into it, you look at like how people support different hacking groups, and this is nothing new. It's something that we've seen many examples of over the year. But right now we're in the middle of this giant what we consider a global war conflict, a global cyber conflict, and you actually have a jewelry artist out there that is
Yeah.
making jewelry for Killnet.
Yeah,
Uh,
supporting
and
Killnet and doing business at the same time. So that
yeah,
was these come from the actually they're out there in the open. If you go to the VK page, vContacte is it's from mail.ru. Mail.ru, the big, it's like the Google of Russia, and they have like a Facebook page. Yeah, in Russia, Google and Facebook are the same thing. They're in one and the same company, not like in the Western world. But when you go to vContact, not to the Killnet page, they have two posts out there where they promote jewelry. One of them is a ring with Killnet on it, as you can see on the left. It's selling for 20,000 ruble. It's a promotion right now, probably for Valentine. Um, so about 290 US dollar, and also a matching set of earrings, clearly with Killnet branding on that. So
it's it's really interesting. This is being sold by a jewelry artist in Moscow.
yeah, we will come back to that
The,
one. We have a slide
okay,
specifically. We can talk about that
yeah.
when his face
I'm
comes
jumping
up.
a slide ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. As I said, I'm excited about this. I personally want to get one of these rings just as a collectible from the cyber
Yeah.
conflict. Like we all collect the little Snorties from Cisco and little 3D printed gadgets at DEF CON. This, I think, would be a very interesting collectible
Yeah.
piece in the world of cybersecurity.
But you should be aware that by buying such a ring, you are funding a criminal association. Because
Yep.
so for every ring that's being sold, half of the proceedings go to Killnet. So that's what it says in the Russian text below. So of the 290 US dollar that you would pay for a ring, 145 US dollar goes to Killnet, and the same for the earrings. So 50% goes to Killnet's small, how they call it, their piggy bank. But Killnet
And,
has been
it
funded by donations, and he always talking. Kill Milk is always talking about his piggy bank. So
And the
50%.
interesting thing about this is like right after the Norwegian journalists covered this, the company that makes this jewelry actually went to VK and posted a very long rant talking about how they will and will continue to support Killnet. That they are not going to back down from this at all, which just shows how many people like in or the type of people, the communities that are around these groups
Yeah.
that support them, and what they will do to support them.
Yeah. So that's the guy you were talking about. So Logunov Victor, so the owner of Hooligans Jewelry, and there's a picture from Dagblatt, and he makes
And
jewelry and that and that kind of same idea as his other jewelry is also very much rock kind biker kind of rings, so heavy rings with skulls
heavy
and
metal type of
yeah,
like design,
yeah.
yeah, skulls and crossbones. And what I found interesting is that these two pieces of jewelry underneath what they call the ZOV Connect collection,
Yeah, the Zov
which
collection.
if you're familiar with the conflict in Ukraine, Z, O, and V
Uh,
are the three main letters that they're spray painting on the side of their
yeah,
vehicles. So
yeah, the Zov collection, and on top of that, I'm just skipping quickly to this slide. I'm gonna come back, but look at the background where you have different kinds of communistic symbols, and then you have a symbol that will be very familiar for the ladies who are joining in. This
in the
looks
high
like
piece,
Louis Vuitton, LV. It's like the same fonts, and you see it here in bigger. However, from the L they made a Z from the Zov collection, so ZOV, so ZV, and they put that in the back with the communistic symbols out there.
and just
It's,
if you go back to the earrings for a second,
yeah,
just from an artistic point of view, like the detail and the design on this is actually very quality. Like this artist is actually a true artist. Looking at the back pins, the earrings with the two swords and the kind of
Hey,
shield type of looking
careful,
backing.
are we gonna they gonna think that we're promoting,
Uh,
sponsored.
not promoting it. I'm just saying it's pretty cool, huh?
Well, anyway, only the Russians who are watching can buy one because the Western world cannot get access to it.
And I will admit to that. I tried to see if I could buy one. They will not ship it to America. So
Yeah, and they're not on eBay either. I also checked. So yeah, so that's our Valentine tip. It's matching jewelry, a ring for him, earring for her. Well, unfortunately.
and the funny part about it is actually on the Hooligans website, they reference upcoming Valentine's Day and what you could buy for your significant other.
Yeah.
And it directly references these two items. So I think
Yeah.
this is all around really hilarious and shows how the threat landscape is not only growing and evolving, but showing how social circles
Yeah.
around these activist groups evolve.
Well, some people might be asking, how do they come to this jewelry guy? And apparently, there was a person who worked for this jeweler who makes jewelry, handcrafts them, for hooligans. And he was member of the Killnet group, so he was one of those people in the Telegram that helped with DDoS attacks. So that's how he came up with that idea of making Killnet branded jewelry, and then the owner said, "Okay, well, 50% of the proceedings will go to Killnet." Whether it's business or patriotism, that we don't know. The
So this
same,
is what I was mentioning when people in Russia support pro-Russian hackers
uh,
and lose
mhm,
uh, some of their career because of it.
yeah,
This is a local rapper in Russia that was underneath a music label, Infinity Music,
Gajia
and
Voima,
posted.
yeah,
I wasn't even trying to pronounce his name to be honest, but he posted a music video, actually a
yeah,
song to multiple online outlets.
yeah,
What it was in
yeah.
July, June,
You can hear it, yeah. If you go to the links, you can play it in Spotify. We cannot play it here because if we play it for some kind of silly reason, our video will be taken offline because of copyright, because we're playing copyrighted music. But it's out there on YouTube. If you go to Spotify, you just search for Killnet Flow. Go to YouTube, search for Killnet Flow, and you will find the video. And the video is also it's a video is about breaking news. So American news outlets who are breaking about attacks on Killnet, who are covering attacks on Killnet. And the song, it's all in Russian, but there are some English snippets out there. It's like Killnet, oh shit, and they're singing, and the narrative. So I asked somebody who knows Russian and who could listen to the song, and he said that yeah, it's just about their tactics, their techniques. So basically, what they do, they attack American sites and they publish sites about all the attacks they did and how they got coverage in the news and how Killnet was in Russia Today, how he got interviewed and some images of that. But it's actually so. And it's on Spotify, it's on Deezer, it's on Apple Music, it's all there. You can just go there and you can just go listen to it. It's kind of amazing how this song was never really picked up and nobody talked about it. So
Yeah,
so
except for this Norwegian news outlet.
yeah,
They really
yeah,
dug into it and they found that this guy not only made the song, but his record label fired him
yeah.
because he supports Killnet, which is absolutely crazy to think that, a Russian, could lose his career for supporting other pro-Russian hackers.
Hmm.
But the one thing I want to bring up is that this is not so unique. It's very actually common for artists to make music through arts and entertainment to support hackers, right? So, like,
Hmm.
I think it was 2011. There was a hacker slash rapper named YT Cracker. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with him. Wrote a song called Anti-Sec, and Anti-Sec was literally about LulzSec, who they're hacking, how they're hacking, even to who you could connect to and communicate with, which turned out to be a Fed. But the interesting thing, the reason why I bring this up is because it was a huge hit back then, right? Everybody in the United States absolutely loved the song when it came out, even though LulzSec was hacking the FBI and many government agencies. And then even funnier point to this is that 3 weeks ago, world-renowned artist Deadmau5 released a remix of Anti-Sec by YT Cracker. So it just shows you like how on two different sides of the field that one hacker or one rapper can make a rap song about a hacking group and lose his career, while another rapper can make a song about hackers and actually have his career accelerate.
Well, yeah,
Very,
yeah.
very interesting.
I don't think it was only because of the song, because they found out that he donated to Killnet, and that was probably the reason that Infinity Music, so the founder of Infinity Music, stopped the cooperation with the rapper because they also have international songs, so that
Yeah.
might affect their other songs and their other business as Infinity Music, if they're not affected yet by the sanctions. I don't know.
Speaking of giving Killnet cash,
Yeah,
there's many ways that social circles can support hacking groups, and this is the most direct way that
yeah.
a group can actually support Killnet.
Yeah, they also do our advertising. It's pretty hard to spot because the advertisement are just in Telegram and they're like a message that was forwarded by Killmilk into Telegram. But there are several messages about NFTs and crypto which would pretty much mark what's going on in advertising in those areas and those channels. Also Solaris is another source of income, the dark web marketplace, and it's gonna come back in the next slide. But we already covered that Killnet was DDoS for hire or received donations from Solaris with donations that went very close together with DDoS attacks on the number two Russian-speaking underground drug marketplace, which is called Kraken. So Solaris and Kraken both came up, but we're gonna talk about it in the next slide. But they both came up and they were in competition. So Solaris basically just leveraged Killnet to perform attacks with his botnets, because before the war, Killnet was a botnet for hire. So also to leverage his DDoS attack tools against Kraken, and yeah, he got funding for this. And actually, we have also found out on the slide, in the next couple of slides, how much funding they got.
Yeah.
So, and then there's also probably something with ton NFTs, because they're always talking about and referring to those ton NFTs. But we're not sure yet. It might be that it's just for their own profit of some people that are on that Telegram channel, or it's related to Killnet. We're not sure.
Well,
But
also,
NFTs, yeah.
Killnet has their own ton-based social media site. It doesn't have wide exception. There's, like, I think, only 28 posts on their
Yeah.
profile, but they're definitely trying to do some kind of social media NFT
Well, yeah.
ton thing over on another
If
site.
you're a criminal and you want money, where do you go? NFTs, right?
Money, money, money,
Or
money.
or if you're a celebrity and you want to do a rug pull, you start NFTs.
We're not going to name any of those, but yeah,
No.
brutal.
Yeah, brutal.
So as Pascal was saying, Solaris and Kraken are both darknet marketplaces. Specifically, they sell drugs, and they're also Russian-based darknet marketplaces. But over the month, we saw Solaris actually was taken over by Kraken. So the attack involved
Yeah, but they
redirecting.
yeah for first they attacked Kraken, right? So we said on the last slide. So Solaris was the
Right.
one who was attacking Kraken and pushing them down. So Solaris became number one, and then Kraken was fed up with it.
Yeah,
Came
by some
back.
reports, they say Solaris took 25% of the market share after the Hydra takedown, and
Mm,
Kraken only took 10.
yeah.
With them both being drug-based Russian marketplaces, that means there's going to be a lot of competition
Hmm.
and attacks between the two.
Yeah, yeah. So they basically took them completely over. If you go to the login site, if you go to Solaris, then you can click one of the links, and apparently the first one brings you to the maintenance server, right, Daniel? You said,
Yeah,
but
yeah. So last night,
yeah,
the onion for the first one on Solaris.fm goes to maintenance mode for Solaris, but the
it
other ones,
it was
as
also
Pascal was
last
saying,
night that I clicked on it, and the last three they all go to a clear website,
mhm.
which is 2krn.at, and that has like a handle like a marketing campaign equals Solaris RIP. That gives you a login for Kraken. So when you go to Solaris main page and then you click on the last three onion links, that will redirect. First you go to the dark web and then you get redirected to the ClearNet, and you get onto the Kraken login page. So that's basically how they took over their business. But also important is that elliptic. So the people who track cryptocurrency movements reported that Solaris donated 44,000 to Killnet, which is interesting. So donated. We know what that donation looks like. Killnet did DDoS attacks against Kraken for Solaris. That's how they
Yeah, but
became friends.
in the Ecliptic report, it really kind of dives into the blockchain, exploring how the
Mhm.
money came about and went to Killnet, which is
Yeah.
pretty interesting. But given the last few examples that we've gone over, there's a lot of ways that Killnet is actually not only building resources but gaining resources and financial funding for future operations, which is pretty notable in my opinion.